Continues here on One News Now. I'm Diego Castro, bringing you the biggest headlines from around the world. The United Nations has condemned the attempted coup in Niger on July 26. This after presidential guards held Niger President Mohamed Bazoum inside his palace. Crowds of Bazoum supporters protested outside the National Assembly in Niamey and called for his release. Aside from UN, the African Union also condemned the attempted coup and called on the plotters to free Bazoum. Meanwhile, soldiers maintain that Bazoum has been removed from power and declared a nationwide curfew.
The Secretary General is following closely the situation in Niger. He condemns in the strongest terms any efforts to seize power by force and to undermine democratic governance, peace, and stability in Niger. The Secretary General calls on all actors involved to exercise restraint and ensure the protection of constitutional order. The United Nations stands by the government and people of Niger.
Israel's Supreme Court is set to hear an appeal against a new law that curbs some of its own powers to overrule the executive branch. This as Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's right-wing government seeks an overhaul of the country's judicial system. The bill was passed on Monday and sparked raging protests across the country. Critics say the changes will open the door to corruption and abuses of power by removing effective checks on the governing executive's authority. Meanwhile, Netanyahu's coalition cast the changes as necessary to balance powers and stop the Supreme Court overreaching.
למרבה הציניות, הוגי התוכנית מכנים אותה תוכנית לתיקון מערכת המשפט. ואני אומרת, זו תוכנית לריסוק מערכת המשפט.
Over in Chile, teachers are under a 24-hour national strike as they demand for better work conditions. Teachers holding banners and shouting slogans were seen marching down on major roads. They urge for the payment of the historical debt, a payment owed to teachers by the government since 1981. They also called for a plan to address school violence and provision of overdue incentives since 2020. Thousands of Chilean teachers are expected to hold another 48-hour strike on August 3 and 4. We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now World. I'm Diego Castro. American actor Kevin Spacey has been acquitted of all 9 sexual offense charges in London. A London court found the 64-year-old Oscar winner not guilty of committing historical sex offenses against 4 men. The charges he'd been acquitted of include sexual assault, causing a person to engage in sexual activity without consent, and causing a person to engage in penetrative sexual activity. Speaking to the media, the actor said he was left, quote, humbled by the outcome. Irish singer Sinead O'Connor has died at the age of 56. The singer's family issued a statement announcing her death, saying that the singer's kin and friends have requested privacy. The circumstances of her death remain unclear. O'Connor crashed onto the global music scene with her mesmerizing version of Princess Nothing Compares to You. Artificial intelligence is rewriting the rules of the multi-billion-dollar video games industry. Let's watch this.
First, we will generate some random characters to begin with. Click on the generate.
Generate. Yeah, not safe for work. As with many industries across the board, AI is disrupting the business of making video games. We're headed to Preferred Networks in Tokyo to create our very own anime character in less than 5 minutes. Generative AI is opening up the potential to lower game production costs, with one analyst telling Bloomberg that the money, time, and people needed to complete one big game can be cut in half. Part of that cost saving could come down to tools like Crypto, an anime character generator by Preferred Networks.
やはりプラットフォームがどんどんリッチになっていくと制作費もどんどん高くなっていくっていうような状況の中でクリプコは絵を描かれたことがない方も自分が思った通りのキャラクターを作ることができる。
Okay, so this
yes,
girl,
this girl.
I like her. She seems real happy.
Then you can click the fuse.
Oh, and it merges them together?
Yes, and it will give you a variety of new characters based on the 2 characters you have choose.
You can also fine-tune the character's features, like giving it pointy ears and different expressions. I want mine to have glasses, and I'm naming her Kimiko. After you create the character, you can chat with the character. Love your hair today. Still, critics argue generative AI is trained on art without consent from the original creators. Fukuda says they began debating copyright concerns 3 years ago.
弊社に関してはきちんといろんな、権利を持たれている方に配慮した形でリリースを進めてきたという背景がございます。
And those are the top world headlines of the hour. Join us again at 9:45 a.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. I'm Diego Castro. We are One News. All sides, all the time.